All right. So a very warm welcome to everyone who's joined us today. Thank you for joining, what we're calling as the Rendezvous with RevUp. I hope all of you are keeping safe and doing well. My name is Praveen Mukhapati, and I'm a Deputy Director at NASSCOM. In my role, I work for the Telangana AI Mission to develop the AI ecosystem in Telangana. For today's session, I'm joined by a couple of esteemed speakers, Ms. Ramadevi Garu, representing the government of Telangana, and Snehanshu Mitra, head of Telangana AI Mission. I request both of you to switch on your cameras, please. I welcome you both.
Thanks, Praveen, for the invitation.
Yeah. Now for the introduction of the speakers, with highly accomplished individuals, I generally get a sense that no introduction can do justice, but with their kind permission, I'd like to share a very little bit about them. So Ramadevi Garu, she's the Director of Emerging Technologies Wing, the Department of IT E&C in the government of Telangana. So she's had a remarkable career in India and United States, and this has spanned different domains ranging from civil engineering, IT, e-governance across the government, not-for-profit, private sector, and startups. In the process, she garnered skills in IT consulting, IT strategy, product development, program management, designing e-governance programs, and procurement of infrastructure projects. Ramadevi Garu, a very warm welcome to you.
Good morning. Thank you, Praveen. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. Snehanshu Mitra, he leads the AI initiatives at NASSCOM. He's responsible for creating, nurturing, and scaling up a vibrant AI ecosystem that involves driving adoption of artificial intelligence, accelerating AI startups, leveraging AI for societal good, work with the enterprises, essentially the industry, to co-innovate and to promote applied research and AI skilling. Snehanshu, once again, thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure is entirely mine. Thanks, Praveen.
So before we get started, I just wanted to lay down a context for everybody before we get into the deep dive of why we are gathered here today. So last year in 2020, the government of Telangana declared the year as the year of artificial intelligence. And that was primarily with the vision of developing Hyderabad and Telangana into a global AI hub. Now, Telangana, as a matter of fact, is the first state in India to launch an actionable policy framework for artificial intelligence last year, and they identified a few sectors, focus sectors, if you will. Following the year, early 2021, a report called the Telangana's Year of AI 2020 and Beyond was also released. Now, for those who are interested, and especially if you're in the field of AI, you can access this framework and report by visiting the website ai.telangana.gov.in. Both are compelling reads, and I encourage you to access the website and download both these documents. Now, to get started with the discussion, Ramadevi Garu, let's start it with you. So my first question to you would be, can you tell us more about the commitment of government of Telangana towards developing the AI ecosystem in the state?
Sure, Praveen, and thank you for that generous introduction. You have already set the context, I would say. And thank you for asking this specific question, because we are very passionate about, developing the very conducive ecosystem for emerging technologies in general, and more specifically AI. Some of you might already know that Telangana is the first state to come out with a vertical in emerging technologies. You may call it a separate wing or a vertical that would focus on Industry 4.0 technologies. So this wing called ET is set up 3 years ago, and you're working on several initiatives that help startups. Our vision is to make Telangana as a hub for these emerging technologies. Or in fact, we want to position ourselves as a leader in emerging technologies across in the country. And today, I can proudly say that we are, in fact, considered as a leader in emerging technologies. Well, before I move on to AI, I also want to touch upon, blockchain and drones, where we are doing considerable work. and which actually feeds into all the AI projects or AI ecosystem. So with reference to how we want to position ourselves, is there a latency in the country? And today I can proudly say that we are in fact, Praveen, is there a latency, some problem I see?
No, ma'am, you can proceed. Even I heard it, but right now I don't see it coming. So please
All
proceed.
right.
Sorry about that. I don't know from where that has come.
Right. Yeah, I was just talking about blockchain. Telangana state is the first one to actually come out with a blockchain specific framework, and also to offer opportunity to startups to implement their solutions within the government space. We have a thriving developer community here in the state, the blockchain developer community, and we're also building the talent pipeline, that feeds into these startups. And the state is also host to a number of startups in blockchain. So we initially started focusing on blockchain. Now we really have a very good ecosystem for blockchain in the state. In fact, companies across, whoever is coming to India to actually set up their, businesses here, they're looking at Telangana specifically in blockchain. Then coming to the drones, I think most of you might have been read in these newspapers, about the Medicine from the Sky project. While we are working a number of use cases, this MFTS, what we call Medicine from the Sky project, is very close to our hearts. Many well-known companies in the delivery space are working with us on this, starting from Dunzo, Blue Dot, Flipkart, and all the drone companies. Our own Hyderabad-based Maru Drones, Airserv, Tech Eagles, Red Wing, and so on. I might have missed some names, but the point that I'm trying to make is the entire drone ecosystem is now working with the government of Telangana. In fact, even the central government has, this is the first of its kind permission that has given to, it's called BVLOS, Beyond Visual Line of Sight, which Telangana got those approvals to actually pilot this project. So the reason I'm mentioning is this: we are actually working on a combination of technologies that again feed into AI projects. Similarly, IoT, we are actually working, and the data from devices, again, need AI algorithms to actually evaluate, to come out with certain solutions. While we have been working on those technologies, as Praveen has already mentioned, realizing the potential of AI, which every report that you read out there, talks about billions of dollars in value that the AI industry potential has. So we have commemorated 2020 as the year of AI, and our vision is to actually establish Telangana as a global hub for artificial intelligence. And also, we want to actually foster social innovation, use these technologies for social good that create larger impact. Well, unfortunately, COVID has hit us the same year when we actually came out with this framework. But even then, we launched, despite COVID, we actually made significant progress in this. You're seeing today this program because of, the team that's actually working with Telangana AI Mission. We have put up a separate, entity called Telangana AI Mission, which is headed by Snehanshu, who will be talking, who has been introduced to you. And within the AI framework, we identified key pillars or foundational blocks that would actually drive this ecosystem. As Praveen has mentioned, it's available on our website. You can go and have a look at it. There are about 6 foundational pillars that we are driving, that will help us drive or develop the ecosystem. We are, I would say, the broad 4 areas that the Telangana government is looking at, that would really help the startups, AI startups specifically are. One is provide opportunity to pilot your solutions. Suppose you have a very good use case, that fits the government requirements. Then we'll give you an opportunity to pilot this in the state of Telangana. Whatever data that you need, that will provide, we'll identify a particular, if it's related to some on-ground implementation, a pilot location, or if it's specific some department, then we'll actually choose that and help you with the implementation. And during this implementation, our government officials who has the domain expertise, if you're working in agriculture, healthcare, or environment and climate change, whatever it is, they would provide you the domain expertise that's required to sort of, fine tune your solution. So that mentoring and validation of the solution would be provided by government of Telangana. We, as a government, we would like to be the first customer for the AI startup. If you have a solution, we would actually procure that solution. Again, it should meet our needs, of course. And we would actually provide the relevant data sets, that are required for AI algorithms or whatever that you need to actually implement your solution. The entire support is provided to the startups. So, Praveen, with this, I take a pause here. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for outlining that. And clearly, there have been past successes and experiences, and like you suggested with blockchain and having that ecosystem that you were able to develop. And clearly, there is palpable commitment that is there from the point of view of emerging technologies and artificial intelligence in particular. Now, that was about the commitment bit, right? But how do you think this whole AI ecosystem, the innovation or the innovator ecosystem, how do you think that helps in driving the ambition for the state? Why is it so important, and how does it contribute to that?
Well, Praveen, we have set a very ambitious target. In fact, Snehanshu also helped us in setting that target. Actually, we are looking at about 5 billion IT exports from artificial intelligence alone by 2025. It's a very ambitious target that we have set for ourselves. So what we believe is data utilization and AI would play a key role in achieving this target. Unless you have, startups, companies, enterprises, governments, the entire ecosystem is actually, working on these AI solutions or AI projects, AI interventions, we would not be able to reach that target. In fact, while you have asked how AI innovator ecosystem would help Telangana, I would also would like to share you this. In fact, Telangana has a very good innovation ecosystem. We have 6 partners in that ecosystem, which is one is most of you know about T-Hub, right? It's an incubation center that offers incubation facilities for startups. It's considered as a role model across the country. The second one is STAS, Telangana Academy of Skills and Knowledge, that tries to develop or create a talent pool for each of these technologies. So in fact, with TAM is actually going to deliver certain training programs for students in the engineering colleges. So that will build a talent pipeline that will help the startups again, because that's it's one of the key pillars that we have identified in the AI framework. The third one is Telangana State Innovation Council. It's a very unique concept in Telangana that started almost 3 years back. So this particular TSIC, what we call it drives innovation at the grassroots levels, right from villages, small towns. We identify innovative, products or services that are coming out from these areas and try to, encourage them. Then T-Works is it's a prototyping facility, of course. It's a prototyping where hardware startups or even drone companies they can actually go there and have prototypes. It's one of the largest prototyping facility that's going to come up in next couple of months. Then we have VHub. Of course, this is a startup that is aimed to encourage women entrepreneurs. And the fifth one is Research Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, that brings markets and industry or research and industry together, so that whatever research that is happening in the academic institutions will be adopted by the industry. So with this kind of, very unique partner ecosystem that we have, this is a great one for startups to leverage, which provides them the incubation support, as I said, access to markets, access to talent, access to funding, and so on, because we already have that ecosystem that's here. And I also wanted to say in each of these technologies, especially AI, as Praveen has mentioned earlier, we have identified certain specific domain areas such as agriculture, healthcare, mobility, law enforcement, and so on, where government will be a key player in adopting these technologies, climate change, and so on. I think these kind of projects, because whatever project or initiatives that the government actually implements, they're usually huge in scale and size, so that provides an opportunity for the startups to try out the solutions. While Snehanshu will talk about TM's initiatives, I'll just mention 2 very unique projects that we are working in agriculture. It's called AI for AI, Artificial Intelligence for Agriculture Innovation. We are identifying 5 crops, across the value chain, and we'll be implementing different use cases from startups for these 5 crops. We are looking at impacting around 100,000 farmers. Very 2 important tangible components that would come out of this Sagu. We term this project as Sagu Bagu. Is one, we are going to set up a data exchange platform. Now, currently, we are actually working only for agriculture, but later on, this will be expanded to cover other domain areas also. A data exchange platform where data provided by the government or any other providers will be hosted on this platform that can be consumed by different startups and other companies that are in this space. Because as we understand, a lot of startups, they spend time and effort in actually getting the data, process the data to make it in a form that is consumable by algorithms. So that's one key initiative that we are working on. And a second interesting concept, we are coming out with what is called ABOX, agricultural innovation blocks. While this is initially we are doing it for agriculture, we'll extend it to other areas too, wherein it's a kind of a system wherein any startup that would like to actually try out the solution, they have the solution that they would like to offer it to the farmers, then we provide all the necessary ecosystem support that's required by them, onboarding the solution, access to farmers, as I said earlier, implementation to pilot, implementation in any of the districts, locations, and so on. So it's called ABOX. Currently we are saying it as agriculture box, which will be extended to other areas. So in fact, we are acting or working, I would say, rather very proactively in this AI ecosystem space that will actually help startups in either developing the solutions, implementing the solutions, and getting all the necessary ecosystem support. Yeah, thank you, Praveen.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Clearly, at least for the startups that are listening in and those who will be watching this recording, I'm sure they will find a lot of opportunities, through what you mentioned. Clearly, these are initiatives where they can clearly get that support and implement these solutions right away. Thank you for that, ma'am. And you've already hinted at what I was going to say next. But for those who haven't gotten that hint or haven't been following the media, the Telangana AI Mission recently announced the launch of RevUp. It's an exclusive accelerator for AI startups by the government of Telangana. And to talk more about that, I will turn to Snehanshu, and I have a set of questions for you, Snehanshu. Snehanshu, so firstly, when we talk of startup accelerators and the need for them, clearly we are trying to address a need when it comes to such an exclusive accelerator. Now, according to you, what are the key challenges that growth stage startups, particularly AI startups, encounter?
Thanks, Praveen. I think that's a very important question. To us, growth stage startups are fundamentally characterized by a validated business idea. The startup would have already built a machinery of growth. It can prove that the machinery works. We also see that there's a rudimentary product development, deployment, sales and support team in place. The growth engine is buzzing with activity, and they're in need for fuel to accelerate that machinery. It's mostly in terms of expanding a set of activities that are ideally already working. At the same time, they're looking to achieve measurable growth. Right. This would also mean that they would need to rapidly increase the customer base. They would need to add to their revenue base. They are now starting to talk about acquiring market share as opposed to just getting into a market. Now, this will provide further validation in terms of their business model market fit. And the assumption also, Praveen, is that they probably have bootstrapped so far. They've obtained some amount of seed funding. Maybe they've also gone about having a successful Series A funding also. Now, the task is to convince the investors about their midterm outlook. And the whole point around, we are here for the longer run. That's the convincing that they need to do. They're not just looking at investors, but potentially a little more than that. They're talking about getting strategic partners on board, right? And it is very important that they continue to build the team around them. And then from merely talking about bringing in ad hoc members, they're talking about building right kind of skills. They're certainly talking about building an organization. And these are very, very indicative of the changes that they expect to surround them in times to come. What I'm trying to suggest is that clearly growth stage startups are a busy lot, right? And that they need a lot of guidance across multiple decision points.
Right, and clearly there are many ways in which they can be supported with. Now, talking about support and the RevUp acceleration program, especially for startups that are considering joining this program, what do you suggest are such an eligibility criteria for them to apply and then be a part of such a program?
Yeah, I think this is important for people dialing in to understand that, look, promoting innovation and entrepreneurship is a key mandate that we have received, from government of Telangana. And our goal over a period of time is to attract, to engage about 200 odd AI innovators and startups over the next couple of years, leading to a valuation of $3 to $4 billion. And then these are people who would want to set up their base in Hyderabad. I think this is something which is very, very important to us. We've kept the criteria simple for people to understand. The simpler it is, the faster the action is. We are saying that, well, you could have a startup registered anywhere in India, but you come with an intent to setting up an establishment in Hyderabad. That has to be very, very central, right? The second thing is the whole concept of artificial intelligence, as we understand. It's a generalized term in many minds, but for us, it has to be rooted in AI technologies such as NLP, machine learning, computer vision, and then stuff like that. So there has to be very, very key AI component to whatever they do. Then we are talking about the whole potential to scale. There's something that we would definitely like to consider, which also means that there has to be a very robust, product with them. Ideally, would like to have them engage a couple of paying customers who would want to look at that part. The whole idea is to look at the scale aspect, the potential to scale. But also like to have a certain preference for startups employing 30 or less number of employees. Anything more than you're not sure which stage you're in, that would be the sweet spot for us. And in terms of capital, I already spoke in the previous part, where we are looking for people, for startups who would have either gotten themselves bootstrapped or they've raised some amount of seed money or probably a Series A funding, but no more than that. That is the kind of mix that we believe we are best placed, best positioned to serve.
Fantastic. And for those who are joined in the session, and if you have questions, feel free to use the chat window or the Q&A feature on this event. So we'll be happy to channelize those questions to either speaker. So with that, moving on to another question, Snehanshu, and this is more pertinent to what can startups expect, what kind of events or interventions that are being planned soon after they get, as a part of this cohort?
Well, there are quite a few things. The RevUp acceleration program of Telangana AI Mission will cater to the requirements of growth stage startups. And, we are using all the experience at NASSCOM to try and ensure that we look after the needs in a holistic fashion, right? We have by and large earmarked about 6 different areas where we would want to provide a direct support. And I'll reflect back upon some of the things that I said previously. And we understand that one of the fundamental requirements, one of the foremost requirements is market access. And with this particular acceleration program, we are trying to ensure that we facilitate a certain kind of access to GCCs, to private corporations, to enterprises, to public corporations as well. That would be a big part of our focus. We will continue to launch grand challenges throughout the year to ensure that we are engaging them in these market connect programs. So that is number one. And we've got a calendar of events which we'll try and publish, put it out in public domain as soon as possible. And then also, there's something that I was suggesting earlier, Praveen, that growth stage startups need to infuse capital into the business, and RevUp will provide those opportunities. It will come up with those investor connect programs. It will facilitate meetings with the investor community. Not just that, what we'll also try and do is we'll conduct workshops to ensure startups understand the art of successful pitching to VCs and investors. So we'll try and provide help on these two fronts as far as raising money is concerned. What we've also seen is when we talk about deep tech startups or AI startups in particular, they are quite often strapped for tech resources. And through this RevUp program, we will absolutely try and ensure that our startups have access to quality technology, the right kind of computing platforms, whether it is also in form of a high performance computing center with GPU compute capabilities, will try and facilitate that kind of access, right? So that nothing stands between them, between the idea and its eventual execution. We'll also be very, very cognizant that we get them in front of experienced industry mentors from time to time. And to that end, we'll arrange those meetups, we'll arrange those mentorship sessions, one-on-ones or ask me anything kind of sessions from time to time. And we believe that will leave our startups with a lot of perspective on how to build up and run successful businesses. The other thing that I can think of as being important is this whole IP creation part. And we would definitely want to help the startups through the IP harvesting process, would want to understand their intent, will try and help them with getting expert help on filing patents, right? We are still in our early stages, very, very young, but hopefully as we are able to raise more money, we might be in a position to provide some monetary help. I'm not making any promises, but definitely that is in a field of vision, so to speak. It is a bit early again, but we will continue to look for opportunities of stitching global partnerships such that they are able to get exposed to global best practices. They are able to get access to foreign markets also. And as we speak, we're in the process of sort of identifying various business entities across the globe that we can, have partnerships with and engage in an exchange program of sorts. So I think a fairly comprehensive, fairly holistic view of how we would want to manage this acceleration program. Praveen, hope that answers.
It does. And it's quite promising, especially for startups that are considering applying for this program. I'll just switch turns now and move to Ramadevi Garu. Madam, you talked about government as a customer or an end user of these startup use cases or these solutions that they present. Now, from a startup's perspective, how do you see a typical journey to be looking like, starting from the announcement of a use case?
Yeah, Praveen, that really help startups to understand the entire journey. In fact, the way that we are currently working, I'll share it with you, which will be more institutionalized than the current one. I would say, once it can work both ways. One is initially we identify a use case for the government. It could be in any domain, agriculture, healthcare, or whatever, climate change and so on. Once we identify use case, we source for the right solution that actually we can implement for this particular use case. That's one way. Second is sometimes startups do come to us saying that they have a solution that actually fits certain requirements in a particular domain or a particular department. So then we actually evaluate initially, does it really fit our requirement? Does it really help the department, or does it really help in delivering citizen services or whatever that particular startup, that solution intends to achieve. So once we establish that, or establish that, we call it a marriage between the use case and the solution or the problem statement, then we take it to the department, then we actually demonstrate it to them, showing the features of the solution. Once the department again understands what kind of benefit that's going to actually provide, and then they will identify a suitable, it could be a department, organization, or a district, or whatever the pilot location, what we call. So the startup will be given an opportunity to actually implement that solution. If for a particular limited geography, suppose we have 20 departments or 20, officers that can adopt that solution, we'll say we'll start with 2. or if it can be implemented in all the districts, then we'll start with one district, something like that. So in a limited geographical location or we implement that pilot, and then the department and the IT or the emerging technologies together will analyze the benefits of that particular solution, whether it's really delivering the benefits that it intends to do. And then, so for certain pilots, if the startup is incurring, a lot of expenditure towards it, we also pay the pilots, for the implementation. It's not huge amount, but limited. It could be kind of sort of incentives, we call it. So we pay for the pilot, then we actually evaluate the benefits and all. Then if the department, again, we leave it to the department, to actually adopt it, because they are the ones who judge whether that particular solution is delivering. While we offer in the sense, the IT&C department offers necessary help for the departments to implement the solution, to understand technology, to provide all the project monitoring support, to provide data or whatever. The departments will at the end of the day evaluate and see if it's really delivering the benefits, and they'll take it, scale it up across the state, or all the geographical locations. Yeah, that's the model that we adopt.
All right. And before I ask another question, this is more to the audience. There's one more question, and then we will move into a Q&A. So please utilize this opportunity and post your questions. Ramadevi Garu, this is simple question, but can put you in a tight spot. There are many initiatives I'm sure you've driven across, in your multiple roles, but specifically from Government of Telangana's perspective, why and how you see this program to be important for the government?
The RevUp, you mean the RevUp?
The program, correct, yes.
Yeah. The two things again, Praveen, I would say. One is, if you look at our framework document that we have prepared, one of the key pillars for is provide the necessary, ecosystem support for the startups to flourish. And initially, as I said, for every technology, for each of the technologies that we focus on, we actually provide a conducive ecosystem for the startups. So I think this RevUp is going to play that role, to provide whatever support that's required for the startups in terms of, as Snehanshu has already indicated all the details. So in a way, this RevUp is going to, number one, it will help the startups, it will help the innovation ecosystem in the state. And thirdly, it will also help us to find the right solutions for the problems within the government. So these are the three broad, things that we are looking at from this RevUp program. And we are very excited about this, Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for answering that. So with that, we conclude the formal discussion as a part of today's event. I'll move on to the question and answer session. Let me take a look at one which has come through on this channel. Vignesh, he asked this question: should the company have the registered office in Hyderabad, or having the office and team elsewhere in Hyderabad, whereas the registered office could be somewhere in India? Would that still be okay, for them to be considered?
Snehanshu, you want to answer that, or you want me to answer?
I'm okay. My view is that, at this point of time, we would be open to considering those applications where the startup is registered elsewhere, but they have a plan to move to Hyderabad. Now, this can happen in terms of they establishing a delivery center in Hyderabad. I think we should be okay with those applications as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for that answer. On another channel, I have another question coming through from Rajesh. He talks about their startup being, very good with technology, but struggling with go-to-market strategy. Is there anything specific that the program has to offer in terms of interventions?
I would say so. I would think so. I believe we will have very focused sessions covering a range of topics, and this is the whole point where I was mentioning that we'll have industry SMEs come and sort of provide the perspectives on how some of these problems for startups can be solved. So I feel we'll be able to provide some relevant intervention in terms of finding out various ways in which these challenges have been solved before by startups.
All right, fantastic. So, considering time, I guess we have all that we wanted to discuss today. For further questions, you can always reach out to us. But Ramadevi Garu and Snehanshu, I thank you for taking our time and participating in this lively discussion. I really appreciate it. And I hope the audience watching it live or potentially through a recording later on will find this useful. And if you want to know more about the Telangana AI mission, or if you want to apply for the RevUp Acceleration Program, please do visit ai.telangana.gov.in. I'll repeat, ai.telangana.gov.in. And if you have any questions you want to write to us, please do so at TAIM, that is TAIM @nascom.in. At the end of the webinar, you'll be directed to a survey. Please do fill it out. Thank you so much. And again, once again, my thankfulness to Snehanshu and Ramadevi Garu for today's session.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you so much.